Jack Butland has earned rave reviews this season with some fine performance. I spoke to him earlier tonight and asked him if he'd had any talks with Mark Hughes in the summer.
To be honest, we didn't really have any. At the end of the season, I managed to get myself into the team and play a few games and put in some good performances. And I think going forward, I was always looking to try and take the #1 spot. And those games kind of gave me an opportunity to show the manager that, I can handle the Premier League and I can be, beneficial for the team. And once Asmir had moved on, he came out quite quickly to confirm that I was going to be the #1. So by that point, we hadn't spoke about it. So for me, it was a great, boost of confidence that, the manager had done that, so I could come back into pre-season and I was the #1 and just enjoying the experience and working hard to prove him right.
Has Shay been a help?
Yeah, massively. I've been fortunate, over my career to work with some, incredible goalkeepers. When I was at Birmingham, I had Joe Hart and Ben Foster on loan. I also trained with Mike Taylor while he was there. And then moving to Stoke, I've now worked with, Asmir Begovic, Tommy Sorensen, and now Shay Given. So I couldn't have asked for much better in terms of, keepers to work with and learn off. And Shay's been brilliant, when he's come in and, he's helped me, and it just creates a competitive atmosphere between everyone. And when you've got that, especially as a goalkeeper, it pushes you on. And, I've been able to watch him and see how he does things and see what makes him successful, because we're different goalkeepers. Everyone's got their individual traits, but you can always learn and take things from other people.
That relationship between goalkeeper and #2 goalkeeper is odd, isn't it? Really, because there's no other position on the field where you would have that same relationship of both being in competition and yet having to help each other.
Yeah, we all want to play. No matter whether you're your first choice, second or third or whatever it is, you all want to play, but you've still got to enjoy training every day. You've still got to enjoy the environment that you're coming into, and having a negative one doesn't bode well for anyone. If anyone was to be kicking up a fuss or making it hard for everyone else, and eventually they get found out. They get spotted as being the weak link and detrimental to the group, and those people tend to not last very long. They get found out, and I've been fortunate that wherever I've been, whoever's been in front of me or whoever I've been in front of, it's all about respect, and I'll do whatever I can in the week to show, the goalie coach and everyone else, the manager, that I can play on the weekend. But at the same time, I've got to make sure that, the goalkeeper that does get the chance to play, is in top form and he's had everything that he needs as well. So it's a balancing act really. If I was to be a bad egg and affecting anyone else's preparation, that looks bad on me and not on anyone else.
And this situation is now going to develop for England. If we believe everything, it could be you and Joe Hart going head to head for the next decade, maybe.
Well, I mean, that would be fantastic. It's obviously, my dream, and I've had a taste of it before, but it's certainly something that I want to get back to, and I do want to be challenging, Joe for the #1 spot. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy going away with England, but at the same time, I never enjoy sitting on the bench. For me, it's just about continuing to play well for Stoke, and if I can do that, then I can go away with England, but with confidence. And if I do get the opportunity to play, then hopefully I'll take it. But certainly, for me, if I do well for Stoke and get the chance to be involved with England, then ultimately I want to put pressure on Joe and try and get some game time of my own.
There's some exciting young talent around at the moment for English football. You'll have known a lot from the England under-21s who might be starting to be moved up into the seniors. And today we found out that Jack Grealish has declared his allegiance to England as well. So that's another one to throw into the mix. Yeah,
of course. And I think we've always had that talent there, and it's about us bringing it together and those players getting the opportunities. And the fact that Jack's kind of declared his allegiance to England now is brilliant, because he's another fantastic young talent who's, been brilliant for Aston Villa and shown what he's about in the last, 6 months or so in the Premier League. So, it's always an exciting time for English football when, young players are coming through. We've just got to make sure that, that they're playing still at club level, and we can really make everyone into the players that they can be.
Jack Butland talking to me a little earlier on, and when you listen to him, Amy Lawrence, it's not just the talent that makes you think he could push Joe Hart over the coming years, it's how he speaks and his attitude, isn't it?
I was just listening to that thinking what an unbelievably well-adjusted fella he sounds. Yeah. And at the age of 22, I mean, he's still a young man as well. And the fact that he's clearly looking around and learning and analysing what's going on, and that relationship with Shay Given is almost perfect when you've got an experienced, older player. Yes, the competition's there, but I bet Shay, being the guy he is, will be really willingly passing on all the tricks that he can. And you can tell he'll be absorbing as much as he can. And Mark Hughes said a couple of games ago, I'm almost sick of Jack Butland being man of the match, because I mean that's a testament to how well he's done. But he wanted obviously Stoke to be playing a little bit better and getting the results that meant it weren't so dependent on the goalie. But he's been absolutely sensational so far this season, and it does all extremely well for him and for England and for Stoke.
A 22-year-old, Amy, to be that selfless. I've been in the situation like he was saying that I haven't played, so I can't still go in and go with a miserable face and a mood because I'm not playing. I have to be upbeat. I have to try and get in the team. At 22, normally a 22-year-old go, no, it's all about me. I should be in the team. I want to play, and if I'm not playing, then I've got me. I've got the and he's actually been through it and actually took a retrospective look to say, actually, now I know what Shay Given's going through. I know anybody who's out of the side, but you all got to muck in because I've been there and I've been outside and I've had to get in the team. So for a 22-year-old to have that sort of attitude is a pretty mature attitude, isn't it? It's a selfless attitude that you don't normally get in football, I can promise you.